So my name is Aditi Chinta, and like I said earlier, I'll be a senior this fall. Some of the things I like to do is I play tennis. I'm in speech and debate. I'll be the vice president of Lincoln Douglas this fall, and I love watching TV and I love reading books. And in the future, I hope to pursue a career in the business or engineering field.
My name is Trey. Outside of school, I play a lot of music, a few bands, and I've done quite a few things in the St. Louis music scene, if you will. At school, I'm the president of both History and Philosophy Club, in which topics from history and philosophy are discussed and often debated amongst club members. Oh, sorry. I also serve in my church, which is Assumption Greek Orthodox Church. I serve in the altar, and I hope to look into a career in politics and government once I graduate high school and college.
So, doing a bit of an overview of the Chamber and what the Chesterfield Chamber is. So, it's a public government identity that helps businesses and members of the Chesterfield community connect and network with each other. And some of the big things they do, especially for the businesses, is they sponsor many events, yearly and monthly events, for not only members to attend, but also businesses, so they can promote their business and really get their word out there about who the business is and what they do.
The Chamber has been active in the community since 1976, and it has over 700 members as of this year. And those range from businesses run out of people's houses to Annie Gunn's and Smokehouse Market.
So, like I said earlier, the Chamber puts on multiple monthly and yearly events, and these are just a few examples of some of the ones they do. So, some of the ones that they do annually are the Pumpkin Runs and the Blossom Bolts, which are 5K, 10K runs, where members in the community can come participate in. And usually in these events, there's lots of businesses that help sponsor them. So, these businesses get to put some publicity out into the market. And some of the other things they do are the golf tournaments for business members and the winter festival, which is targeted more towards the community and their families and the youth, for children to participate in as well. And one of the main things that Trey and I helped with this summer are the summer concerts at Foss Park. So these are concerts that have local bands come play for a couple of hours, and lots of members in the Chesterfield community come. And this past summer we've sold lots of tickets for different individuals coming to these concerts, and businesses get to put up tents if they'd like, or they can put up posters to publicize their business, and that's just one of the things that event does. So this is the Out and About magazine, and there's two examples out on the table, and Trey will talk more about what they are.
In essence, the Out and About magazine is a way of somewhat informal communication between the Chamber members and sometimes member to member. You will see various profiles on businesses, articles written about various happenings with businesses within the Chamber. As you can see there, Rockwood joined the Chamber very recently, and Mrs. Sabin wrote an article. From that article, several local businesses found other interns, like the Archangel Foundation. The Chamber will be working with the Archangels Foundation to put on a concert Friday. The importance of the facilitating of the interconnections between businesses provide for a stronger local economy, because businesses can lean on each other in times of hardship. Smaller independent contractors can find larger businesses to contract to, and vice versa. It has provided an opportunity for the community to grow, and it overall strengthens the local economy by making other businesses aware of possible partners in the future.
So this is the new Chesterfield Chamber of Commerce logo, and that is the old one. And so this logo has recently been changed due to the Chamber now expanding to being the regional Chamber of Chesterfield. And what this logo essentially is it's a sprout coming out of the valley, because the Chamber is located in the Chesterfield Valley. And these three leaves on the sprout stand for the Chamber's mission, which is connect, learn, and grow. And these 5 dots around the seeds, or essentially represent the seeds, are the different things that the Chamber strives to accomplish, such as government affairs, business relations, networking, and just being a resource for the people in the community.
And the logo itself was actually designed by a chamber member. So
Black
it's-
Ravens was the
Mhm.
company that actually designed it.
All right. This is we'll give you an overview of who our two mentors were for this project. This is Mrs. Nora Amato, sitting over there as well. She is the executive director of the Chesterfield Regional Chamber of Commerce. She has a bachelor's of arts in business administration, management, and operations, and French. Conveniently, my mother is also a French professor, so that's something we were able to bond over a little bit this summer.
So another one
There's the
of
other
our
half, Kristen.
mentors was Miss Krista Struthers, and she is the assistant director at the Chesterfield Chamber of Commerce, and she got her MBA in business administration and management. And something actually really interesting about Krista is she actually worked here as a marketing coordinator a couple of years ago at the chamber, and now she's the assistant director. So she's been here for a lot of time.
So this is an overview of some of the projects that our mentors had us work on over the summer. So we'll give you a more in-depth look at them now.
So the first thing I'll be talking about is the membership link. And so for this event, what essentially happened is some of the chamber's board members, and obviously Ms. Struthers and Mrs. Amato, would go out into the community and just really publicize what the chamber is, especially to businesses that aren't already a member in the chamber. So this is just an example of the document that we all worked together, and we also worked with Catherine and Trey, and we all worked together to put a big document of all the businesses in Chesterfield and essentially distinguished which ones are a part of the chamber, which ones aren't, and organize them by where they're located by road. And so on that specific event, I worked with Miss Debbie Reed, who is part of the 2021 Board of Directors, and she was absolutely amazing because we worked together and we went to all of these different businesses in the valley, since that was the main area that we targeted. And we went to them and we told them about what the chamber is. We provided them with a folder that had the Out and About magazine, some other information, contact information, and we also took phone cakes to them to help really sell the idea that they should become a member in the chamber. And this essentially helped my communication and speaking skills, since we had to go out to so many different strangers, so many different managers in all these places, and just go and talk to them. And another thing that I did a lot at the chamber is we stuffed lots of envelopes, stuffed hundreds of envelopes, just putting stamps on them and folding up different information such as invoices or new information about events that are happening in the future to mail out to other businesses or just other members in the community. Another thing I did was also write thank you cards, and we learned just the importance of thank you cards, since having a handwritten thank you card when a business receives that is a lot more easily accepts that rather than a mass email chain that usually a lot of places send out. So that's another thing that we worked on as well. And one of the things that both Trey and I worked on this summer is attending the summer concert. So what I did while we were there was work the tickets, and we helped just sell tickets to people coming into the concert, or help people find their tickets if they were already purchased. And that was just one of the main things we did. So we talked to lots of different individuals in the community and just got to meet lots of people, and also got to, deal with some people that aren't necessarily the easiest to deal with. So that was definitely a learning experience for both of us. And throughout the course of just all of the concerts and even at the chamber, we met lots of different people in the community that we would have not met otherwise, such as Mr. Matt Katzen, Mr. Stan Anderson, Miss Lisa Graff, and Miss Helena. All these different individuals who are respectable individuals in the community, which we would have not met without the chamber.
All right. As you very well know, I also worked at the concerts. Aditi and I worked in the same area. We were both up front. However, I was directing traffic. I separated cars into 2 lanes. this taught me how to think on my feet very much so, because when you're around cars, you need to be with it. I'm sure that's not the first time you've heard that. But oftentimes, yes, there would be people that were extremely belligerent and did not want to follow instructions from any of us. So it was essentially both Aditi and I's job to make sure that people paid for the concert when they got in, and the people who did pay were able to get in safely and efficiently. Now, before Aditi was able to go out and go to some of the businesses in the valley and do the membership lists, I think all three of us, Catherine, Aditi, and I, worked on a master list of businesses. We were required to organize it by location, and some of the time by, originally alphabetically, then by number on the street. In essence, this taught me to be very methodical about the way I input data onto a sheet, because I made an error on the address of a business, I would be sending Aditi to a house or an abandoned apartment complex. Again, not a good thing. So this taught me, in essence, to sit down and take what you're doing seriously, because a lot of other people depend on it. Not only some of the other interns, but the chamber itself. In addition to that, I was also able to go to a monthly membership meeting at the Crossing Church, which is also in the valley in Chesterfield. This was a meeting about entertaining when you come out of quarantine. There was a speech given by the pastor, Greg Holder, sorry, and he asked some questions about the Bible. He said, who was the first priest? And I incorrectly said Aaron. But from that, we were able to continue to talk about our shared faith and everything that was associated with it. By the end of the day, he'd actually given me this book from the church's library. Previous to this, I would not have been able to raise my hand in front of a room of a lot of people I didn't know, nor would I be able to strike up a conversation about what I believe at an unfamiliar place. However, the experience of just having to call people on the phone, having to answer the phone here, improved my interpersonal skills in that respect. Again, that's another facet of quick thinking. And throughout the month of July, in preparation for an article that is about to appear about the chamber, I looked through the archives of the chamber, I looked through some of the old minutes of the chamber, and I looked through some of the photos that the chamber had saved that were various news clippings. Now, most of them were from the period of 1993 or retrospective photos of 1993. And if you think about it, the chamber has been active since 1976. They've faced plenty of hardships. This is another time in which businesses were closed down. People were not allowed to go into shops. And the chamber weathered it, and the Chesterfield community weathered it, most likely through the efforts of the chamber members. The chamber started out with 3 businesses meeting in the church basement. It's grown to over 700. This, only further demonstrates the versatility and the resilience of the chamber itself and the general Chesterfield community.
So throughout the course of this internship, we have interviewed various individuals just to get to know who they are and who they are in their field. So some of the people we interviewed are obviously Mrs. Amato, Ms. Struthers, and I interviewed Mr. Brian Ferrario, and Trey interviewed Mr. Matt Katzner. So from the interview with Mrs. Amato, I learned lots of things, not only why her interest in pursuing the business field, but also just how every internship or every job that you get matters so much, since it helps you build to your future career. And that's definitely something I learned from Mrs. Amato, and it was definitely something that I really needed, since hopefully in the future I hope to pursue a field in the business world, and just knowing other people's experiences and how they went through it definitely helps me in forming my own ideas about the future.
And I also interviewed Ms. Struthers and Mrs. Amato. We discussed, as my interest is in government, what the appropriate relationship between local business and local government is. In times like this, and really any time, but when the community is put under stress, communication is vital. When businesses and the local government communicate, it makes things run significantly more smoothly. For example, we would not be able to put on the concert without the help of the park rangers. However, Fowles Park would not get as much traffic without some of the events that the chamber puts on as well. It's a symbiotic relationship, as it should be. It should never take on a form of or predatory relationship, be that as it may from either side. Cooperation between local business and local government builds a stronger local community and local economy.
So another interview that I did was with Mr. Ferrario, who is the CEO of Alliance Technologies, and I was able to interview him with the help of Mrs. Amato, since she connected me with him since he is an individual in the computers world and the technology world, and that's also something I hope to pursue in the future. But what I learned from Mr. Ferrario is that his company at first started off very small, with just him and 2 other members, and they really just worked on computers. They helped other people if they needed help with something technology related. However, now his company has, while it is still small, it's only 7 employees big, it has grown to the size that is now able to help provide help desk services to other companies, and it's even helping the United States Security Department in helping them with their cybersecurity needs and just other help desk essentials. And what I really learned from him is just how humble he is about his position as CEO and how he's able to do all the different tasks in his company. He will help even the smallest employee with some of their minuscule tasks, but also be dealing with the United States government. So I just really learned how important it is to have a versatile set of skill sets.
And my third interview was with Mr. Matt Casson, who is the owner of Digital Dock here in Chesterfield. However, he is also the mayor of Brighton, Illinois, which is, for references, north of Alton by a few minutes. And while I was familiar with some of the mechanisms of local government, as I had served in an internship previously at the Wildwood City government, he discussed to me was the role of positive leadership in a community. When our civic leaders put on a positive face about the pandemic or the crises we face, the citizenry will follow. This isn't to say that people are sheep or anything like that. It's simple. If you see that there's positive change being made in your local government, even national government, people will have more hope and be happier. People will be more likely to go out to businesses and reinvigorate the local economy. So, in essence, while you can face any challenge, in all reality, some of the time you need a positive attitude. Even if you're personally facing it, people around you will pick up on it, and the situation will get better.
So throughout the course of the internship, both Trey and I have had very unique career reflections. Some of the main ones should be just how we both developed our interpersonal skills while answering the phone calls and also just talking with so many different members at the summer concert. We're able to talk to them, really get to know who they are, but also efficiently complete all of our tasks. And that's definitely one of the main things we've learned, as well as improve our own oral communication skills. This internship has definitely been one where we have to talk a lot and communicate with other people, and we were just forced to develop our speaking skills and also have a professional attitude about it the entire time, which has definitely been something very impactful for all of us.
And oftentimes that was via the phone. I was required to call some businesses, that had outstanding member dues, and that's certainly not the most pleasant thing to let someone know on the phone, but you have to sort of figure out a way to make it sound like you're not threatening them, but you're being firm, which is a hard balance to find for anyone, and for somebody in high school to already start getting that experience is amazing.
And just one of the really big things this specific internship at the Chamber has helped us with is networking. We've gotten to meet so many different people. While the Chamber itself is small, it doesn't have that many employees, the amount of help and different things the Chamber does for the community is enormous, as it meets so many different people and is always interacting with so many different people. So that's definitely something both Trey and I have gotten from this experience, and it's definitely been very beneficial.
And that corporate citizenship extends a better image to the Chesterfield community as well. I mean, you can tell that the Chamber sees itself as somebody with a lot of organization with a lot of community responsibilities. Because of that, they're able to integrate themselves further into the community.
And just another main thing that we learned is just about organization, how to, always communicate with our mentors if we weren't going to be in the Chamber one day, if we weren't going to be at the concert, and also writing all those thank you cards or stuffing out all those envelopes. It just shows you how meticulous you have to be about every task and how just you have to pay attention to every small detail, and that's definitely something we've learned. So, in conclusion, we'd just like to say a really big thank you
Yes.
to Mrs. Amato and Ms. Struthers for even having us at the Chamber this summer and letting us come to the concerts and helping out around the chambers. And this has definitely been an internship that we have learned a lot during. And obviously, thank Mrs. Sabin for even setting us up with the chamber and having us go through the project interface program. So thank you so much and for taking the time for listening today.
It is much appreciated, and thank you for coming. Also, thank you, Dad, for coming.